Satan.
What other example do we have today from the actions of Muhammad?
The issue of Zainab was a very difficult issue. The basic story is that Muhammad had an adopted son named Zayd. And Zayd had one of the most beautiful wives in Arabia, a woman named Zainab. Muhammad caught a little glimpse of her body.
Right.
And Muhammad started walking away praising Allah, because Allah had supposedly revealed to him that she's now going to be yours. When he found out that Muhammad was lusting after his wife, he divorced her. Muhammad said, don't divorce her. He was worried about the scandal. Zayd said, no, if you want her, she's yours. And he divorced her. Then Muhammad marries her. And what's interesting is how Allah is going to justify this. Surah 33, verse 37. And remember when you, Muhammad, said to him, keep your wife to yourself and be careful of your duty to Allah, and you concealed in your soul what Allah would bring to light, and you feared men. He's worried about what people are going to say. But when Zayd had accomplished his want of her, we gave her to you as a wife. Now we get the reason. Why? So that there should be no difficulty for the believers in respect of the wives of their adopted sons. Now this is so ridiculous on so many different levels. The other problem is that Islam, in the same chapter, Surah 33, Allah abolishes adoption in Islam. So Allah says, Muhammad, I need you, you absolutely must marry the divorced wife of your own adopted son, because I need everyone to understand that when they have an adopted son, they can take their adopted son's wives. And in the same chapter, he abolishes adoption so that that situation is never going to exist again.
One lustful action by one man, who supposedly to be the model for mankind, the mercy for mankind, destroyed a marriage, destroyed the act of compassion to adopt people who are fatherless, orphans, and exposed that the God of Islam actually is a God of lust that promotes lust, does not rebuke lust. Compare this to how the God of the Bible rebuked prophets, like David, for instance, for lusting after someone else's wife.
This sounds like Muhammad is just receiving revelations to justify his behaviors,
Right.
which sounds an awful lot like what Aisha said about him. Your Lord hastens to satisfy your wishes and desires. If you leave Islam and you become an atheist, what basis do you really have for saying that someone should not marry the wife of his own adopted son? What basis do you have for saying those things are wrong, that's immoral? If God doesn't exist, there is no real moral standard that goes beyond us. Premise one, if God does not exist, then objective moral values and duties do not exist. But now we have premise two, objective moral values and duties do exist, which our atheist friends agree with if they're condemning Muhammad. If you condemn Muhammad, then you are agreeing that objective moral values and duties do exist. Then the conclusion follows, therefore God exists. And so why are you an atheist? Why are you an atheist condemning Muhammad when in condemning Muhammad, you're acknowledging that there are objective moral values and duties, and in acknowledging that, you're acknowledging that God exists?